Welcome to the Advantage Kitchen, where this week we're going to show you how to do a couple's dinner of a pork chop with a peach and shallot pan sauce, as well as a blistered corn and tomato Bibb lettuce salad. Now, with cooking together, it's often best to just divide things up. So partner one is going to be on pork chops. This is an optional marinade. So you'll need 2 center cut pork chops, a quart of buttermilk, salt, pepper, and a vinegar-based hot sauce. To start our marinade, you'll want to first reserve 2/3 of a cup of buttermilk. This will be used as part of our salad dressing later. Go ahead and just place this in a Tupperware for safekeeping. Next, you'll want to get out a gallon Ziploc bag and have it unzipped, ready to go. Then you'll take your 2 pork chops and thoroughly salt them on all sides. This will be the only salt in the marinade, so don't be afraid to go heavy here. Once your pork chops are salted on all sides, go ahead and place them into the Ziploc bag. Next, using your buttermilk, you're going to pour enough in to submerge the pork chops entirely. This is going to be right around 2 cups if you're measuring. Then we'll season this with several cracks of black pepper and a few heavy dashes of your vinegar-based hot sauce. From there, go ahead and zip up the bag, trying to minimize the air that is left. Then massage the bag to combine all of the marinade ingredients, as well as work the salt and buttermilk into the pork. From here, you're going to want to marinate this for 2 hours at room temperature, but ideally overnight in the fridge. Now that you guys are ready to start making dinner, go ahead and pull out that marinated pork, as well as some avocado oil to cook with. Then for your sauce, you'll need 2 peaches, 2 shallots, some bourbon to deglaze the pan with, some honey if your peaches are not in season, but otherwise you won't need it, some chicken stock to help thicken the sauce and build it up, salt and pepper for seasoning, as well as thyme. Now, the first thing you'll want to do is take the pork chops out of the marinade and just dab off any extra on all sides. This will help get a nice even brown on the crust and prevent a lot of extra moisture and water from spattering up as the pork hits the pan. Now, in a medium skillet heated over medium-high heat, we're going to fit our pork chops in. There's about a tablespoon of that avocado oil in here as well. Because we're using a high heat, we want an oil with a very high smoke point. Keeping the meat on medium-high, you're going to cook these 2 to 3 minutes each side, and that way it forms a nice even crust. From here, we're going to go into a 400-degree oven that has been preheated once both sides have been browned. Now it's going to go in there for 8 to 10 minutes just to finish cooking. After you remove it from the oven, you're going to want to take the pork chops out of the pan and place them on a plate to rest, leaving all of the fond in the bottom of the pan. The internal temperature should be at about 140 degrees. Now, to start our sauce, we're going to have this heated over medium heat and add about 2 to 3 tablespoons of bourbon, as well as 6 tablespoons of chicken stock. From there, you're going to whisk all the fond, which is the brown bits from the bottom of the pan. Return this to the heat to continue to deglaze. Now that we have it all loosened, we're going to go ahead and add all of our shallot, which has been thinly sliced. Now, once the shallot has become translucent and the sauce has reduced some, about 2 to 3 minutes, you're going to go ahead and add all of your sliced peaches. I had initially cut these into 6 pieces from the 2 peaches, but you'll want them to be thinner than that, so go and shoot for 12 slices per peach. From there, you're going to want to go ahead and submerge these in another half cup of chicken stock and return them to the heat for another 3 to 4 minutes until the sauce has been reduced by half and is nice and thick. You'll also go ahead and add your thyme. Now, while partner 1 is working on the pork, partner 2 is going to be on salad duty. So to gather your ingredients, you're first going to need a head of Bibb lettuce, a pint of mixed variety cherry tomatoes, 2 ears of corn. Then you'll need a cup of walnuts or pecans. I'm using pecans here. From there, you're going to take that reserved buttermilk, as well as 1 cup of Greek yogurt. From there, you'll get our seasonings, which are going to be chives, lemon, Dijon mustard, garlic powder, onion powder, dried parsley, salt, and pepper. Now, the first thing you'll want to do in that oven that's preheated to 400 degrees for the pork, you're also going to roast your nuts. Just spread these evenly on a foil-lined baking sheet, and they're going to go into an oven for 8 to 10 minutes until they are deeply browned. Next, for our dressing, you're going to just grab a jar and pour in 1/3 of the cup of the reserve buttermilk and add 1 cup of your Greek yogurt. Now, there will be that extra 1/3 of a cup of buttermilk. We're going to add that in later to reach our desired consistency. Next, you're going to add a tablespoon of lemon juice using a juicer or just using your hands and using the opposite to catch any seeds. From there, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of dried parsley, a teaspoon of Dijon mustard, then 2 teaspoons each of onion powder and garlic powder. Next, you'll want to chop up a finely sliced tablespoon of chives. Feel free to add any extra from your cutting board. They're only going to add more flavor. And we're going to finish with 2 heavy pinches of salt. From there, go ahead and seal your jar with the lid and shake to combine until homogeneous. From there, check the consistency of your sauce. If you want it thinner, go ahead and add more buttermilk, but if not, leave it the way it is. Next, we're going to prepare our tomatoes. So into a pan heated over medium-high heat, we are adding a tablespoon of avocado oil and adding as many tomatoes as you would like in your salad. From there, we're going to leave these undisturbed for 2 minutes. That way they get burnished on one side. Once they've been left alone for 2 minutes, we're going to sprinkle with salt as we toss and then return to the stove for another 2 minutes, repeating until all sides are golden brown. Once that golden brown has been achieved, we're going to put these in a bowl to the side and repeat the process with our corn, again, leaving undisturbed for 2 minutes over medium-high heat, taking off the heat, seasoning with salt and tossing, and then returning to the heat as to burnish all sides. Now you can go ahead and start building your salad as the pan sauce is going in. So here we've got a bowl of Bibb lettuce that has been torn, and we're gonna add all of our tomatoes and corn. From there, the nuts that we've taken out of the oven and let cool, you can go ahead and crush if your pecans are not already in pieces and add all of them to your salad. Now we're gonna add our dressing, a couple tablespoonfuls at a time. I'm going with about 3 heaping spoonfuls here. You'll wanna go ahead and mix this either with a fork and spoon or go ahead and mix with your hands. These tomatoes are very, very tender and will burst. So if you're concerned about bursting them in the bowl with a fork and a spoon, go ahead and mix with your hands. I find this mixes the salad a little better anyway. As you need to, add more dressing until it is dressed to your liking. Go ahead and give it a taste. Add freshly cracked black pepper to your personal taste, and then your salad is ready to serve and your pan sauce should just be finishing up. Now, when the sauce is reduced by half and your peaches are tender but not falling apart, go ahead and pour this completely over your pork chops. So this is going to be lots of sweetness, a little bit of bitterness, and make sure not to spill like my friend Adam here did. He was joining me and helping me out on this video and playing cleanup crew as well for the mess he made. So now our pork chops are totally ready and we're ready to go ahead and serve this up. So we have our beautifully dressed burnished corn and tomato salad here, as well as our pork chops with the peach pan sauce. Give each other a high five and enjoy your date night.